It was just past 6 in the evening when I first noticed the boy standing across the street. I was sitting on the porch of the cottage I had rented in the quiet countryside, trying to find some peace. Life in the city had exhausted me. Work deadlines, constant notifications, traffic, the noise, the expectations. I needed a break, so I booked a small house in a forgotten village where the internet was slow, the skies were clear, and the loudest sound at night was the wind moving through trees. The boy was motionless under the old street lamp. It hadn't worked for years, yet he stood there every evening as if waiting for something or someone. His clothes were a bit too big, like they belonged to an older brother. His hair was messy, his skin pale, and there was something about his eyes, wide and still. He wasn't scared, just distant, observing. The first night I waved. He didn't wave back, he just turned and walked away. The next day, I asked the woman who ran the small tea shop in the village, "Do any kids live around here, near the station?" She shook her head, her face tightening. No children. Most families left years ago when the train stopped coming. That area's just woods now. Then she lowered her voice, almost as if talking to herself. Strange place, that old station. That caught my attention. The second evening, I decided not to sit. I stood by the edge of the road, waiting, and right at 6:05 p.m., there he was again. I walked slowly toward him. He didn't move, but when I was about 5 steps away, he turned and ran down a narrow trail that disappeared into the woods. I followed, but I lost him. The trees were dense, the ground uneven. My phone had no signal. I walked back, heart beating faster, wondering what I was doing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the boy's face, the silence in his expression. It wasn't fear, it was loneliness. The third evening, I waited at the trailhead instead of on the porch. When he appeared, I said gently, "I won't hurt you. I just want to talk." To my surprise, he didn't run. He just stood there. I crossed the road slowly, step by step. "What's your name?" I asked. He didn't answer. "Are you okay?" Still nothing. "Are you waiting for someone?" He finally spoke, his voice almost a whisper. "My brother." The words caught me off guard. "Where did you see him last?" He raised a small hand and pointed toward the woods. "We used to play there. He went missing." "Did someone take him?" "No," he said, his voice calm. "He hid and never came out." A cold chill ran down my spine. "When did this happen?" He looked at me, and for the first time, I noticed something strange. His eyes held years in them, more than a 10-year-old should carry. 10 years ago. But how old are you?" He looked down. 10. I stared at him, unsure what I was hearing. Maybe he was confused. Maybe I misunderstood. "Do you want help?" I asked. He nodded, so that evening I followed him into the woods. The trail was old, almost invisible. Leaves crunched under our feet, birds scattered, and the wind whistled like voices calling out from deep inside the trees. The boy walked ahead confidently, never hesitating. I followed, heart pounding. After nearly half an hour, we reached a clearing. At the center stood the remains of the old train station. Its roof was partly collapsed, ivy wrapped around the rusted metal signs, and shattered windows gaped like missing teeth. The boy walked through the open door. I hesitated, then stepped in behind him. The air inside was cool and heavy, like the building was holding its breath. "This is where we used to sit," he said, pointing to a cracked wooden bench. "We waited for trains, pretended we were going far away. He sat down slowly. I sat beside him. What happened the day he disappeared? He said he wanted to hide really well. I counted to 100. Then I looked. I searched everywhere. But he didn't come out. At first, I thought he was just hiding to win. Then it got dark. I went home and told my parents. His voice grew quieter. No one believed me. They thought we both ran away. I looked at him carefully. Did you go home? He turned and looked at me fully. His face was sad but peaceful. I never left this place. That's when I noticed it. His shadow wasn't there. The light from my flashlight passed through him. My chest tightened. You're not, he nodded. I waited for years. I thought maybe he'd come back. Then I started waiting for someone else who could remember us. I didn't know what to say. My breath felt shallow. I don't know why I'm still here, he continued. Maybe because no one ever really saw me. You did. A tear rolled down my cheek. I see you, he smiled. That's enough. And then, as gently as the wind through the trees, he faded, like smoke, like a dream. I sat there staring at the spot where he had been. When I returned to the village, I asked again. This time I spoke to the librarian, an elderly man with tired eyes. There were twin boys, he said, after a long pause. One disappeared in the woods. The other, no one found him either. People assumed they ran away. That was 10 years ago. I asked to see photos. He showed me an old news clipping. 2 boys smiling. One had a small scar above his right eyebrow, the same as the boy I saw. That night, I went back to the train station. I left a small lantern on the bench and said aloud, "You're not forgotten." A week later, a letter arrived at the cottage. No name, just a drawing of 2 boys on a bench with a train in the background. It was simple, pencil on paper, but I knew it came from him. Now, whenever I feel invisible or alone, I think of that boy. He waited not to be rescued, but to be remembered. And in remembering him, I remembered myself too. I remembered that every story, no matter how quiet or strange, matters. That's why I tell this one, to remind you and me that we are seen, we are heard, we are real. Thank you for listening. If you felt something from this story, if it gave you a pause, a chill or a tear, stay till the end and remember to subscribe, because every time you listen, every time you share, these voices, our voices, stay alive, and who knows, maybe there's someone out there waiting for you to see them too. Thank you for staying with me till the end. If you're still here, I want you to take a moment to realize something important. The story you just listened to wasn't only a story, it was an exercise in listening, understanding, and imagining in English. You didn't just hear English, you experienced it. That is how real learning begins. Not by memorizing endless grammar rules or vocabulary lists, but by connecting with language emotionally through stories that stay with you long after the words end. If you want to speak English fluently, confidently, and naturally, one of the most powerful things you can do is listen to real stories and read them out loud. Why? Because stories are made of life, and life is made of communication. When you listen to a story, your brain processes sentence structure, tone, vocabulary, and emotion all at once. You absorb English in a way that sticks, not as boring facts, but as living language. That's why our channel exists, to help you grow your English in a way that feels human, warm, and motivating. Here we don't just teach, we connect. We speak in English every day through stories, experiences, and spoken practice. And if you truly want to improve your English, watching more videos like this one can be your daily practice. The more you listen, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more you speak with confidence. Now, let me talk to you directly, just you and me. You've probably had days where you felt shy to speak English. Maybe your mind went blank when you had something to say. You wanted the words to come, but they didn't. And then you felt embarrassed or frustrated. I've been there too. But the truth is, this happens to everyone. It's not your fault. English is a skill, and skills take time. The only difference between someone who speaks fluently and someone who doesn't is practice. And one of the best ways to practice speaking is by reading out loud. Yes, reading out loud. When you read stories aloud, like the one we just shared, you're training your mouth to form words, your brain to link ideas, and your confidence to grow. Even if no one is watching, you are still improving. Every sentence you speak out loud becomes a small victory. That's why we always suggest shadowing, repeating after the speaker, and reading along with us in our videos. It's like exercising your English muscles every single day. Reading also helps with vocabulary. You notice how words are used in real situations. You don't just learn a word, you learn how it lives. Take words like vanish, fade, remembered, or whispered. These words mean more when they are felt inside a story than just seen in a dictionary. You begin to understand not just what the word means, but how it feels. And that is how your English becomes more powerful. So, if you want to get better at speaking, start by listening to one video every day on this channel. Pick one that speaks to you. Watch it till the end, then watch it again, this time speaking along with it. Pause, repeat. Don't worry about perfection. Just speak. Then go a step further. Read the story out loud by yourself. Record yourself. Listen. Improve. It may feel strange at first, but it works. You are learning with every breath, every sentence. Some learners think they need to move to an English-speaking country to become fluent. That's not true. Many fluent English speakers never left their hometowns. They just created an English-speaking world around them. You can do that too. This channel can be a part of your English world. And the best part, you're not alone. We're growing together, one story, one sentence, one brave word at a time. And let's not forget something even more important: motivation. Without it, even the best resources won't work. But if you're motivated, if you really want this, then nothing can stop you. Not fear, not mistakes, not grammar problems. Motivation is what keeps you going on the days you feel tired, discouraged, or stuck. And this channel is here to bring that motivation to you again and again. Remember, fluency is not magic. It's movement. Every time you speak, you are getting closer. Every word is a step forward. And every time you watch one of our videos, you're telling yourself, I believe in me. I am willing to try. So here's what I want you to do next. Choose one more video on our channel today, just one. Watch it with your heart open. Speak along. Let the story enter your mind and your voice. And if you can do that every day, even for 10 minutes, your English will transform. Also, don't forget to like this video if it helped you. Comment below with one sentence that you learned or loved, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. We post videos that help you listen better, speak better, and feel more confident every day. This is not just a channel. This is a journey, and you are already on your way. If no one has told you today, let me be the first. You're doing great. You're learning, you're growing, and I believe in you. So, until the next video, keep speaking, keep dreaming, and remember, every word you say in English brings you closer to the world you want. See you soon.